Hey everybody, I'm back. Uh, March was a bit hectic, so I didn't get a chance to actually put much content out or anything like that. That'll change, but yeah, sorry about that. Here we are, back again. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for commenting, and subscribing as well too. Now I'm going to get into what I want to show you here. I'm just going to go straight up and get right into it. Part of what we do in green woodcraft is to map out wood. What does that mean? That means when you find the logs that you're foraging for or harvesting, then typically what you're going to do is bring those logs home and you're going to create billets or small chunks of wood that are a specific size out of the logs that you bring back. Anyway, how do you map that out? How do you go ahead and just sort of bust everything out? There's methodology to breaking out the billets and things like that, but for the most part, you want to sort of have an overview of the log before you get into it. So we're going to get into it right now. When it's splitting logs, there's a lot that's going on. That'll be a different kind of video, but for now, I'm just going to try to show you guys how I personally would map out this particular piece of wood. So this guy came to me through my mother-in-law. She ended up having a maple tree on her property. This is really spalty. So it's starting to spalt, looks really promising and really cool. I've already created a couple spoons out of some other parts of this tree, but now that it's completely down and I have the base of it, it's kind of an interesting log to be able to try to map out and figure out how to get the most for the least kind of thing. You'll have to excuse our yard waste bags. This is where we kind of pile them up kind of thing. Life of a green woodworker right here. All right, so the log's beautiful. I can't wait to bust into it, but as you see, it's also got a bit of a twist to it. So, sorry, not a twist, a bow to it. And it also has a natural inclusion here, so it's grown out and split kind of thing. So, how are you going to do it? How are you going to split this up, and what are you going to do? First things first, most people think, well, if it's starting to bow over here, I'm going to get some great spoons out of that, meaning that bowed area is going to be like, you know, a nice area for some nice cranky spoons or whatnot. While that's true, and you can utilize that if you'd like to do something like that, for me, I'm going to do a little something different. What I try to do is I try to find the straightest piece of the actual log itself. So to me, it's going to be starting over here and end somewhere around here. So this to here is now going to be nice and straight, and that's what I kind of shoot for, because I'd rather put the bend and put the crank and things like that in the spoon itself instead of the tree. Although naturally using the bends and bows of trees is really cool too. All of it's cool. Anyhow, so how I'm going to do it is I'm going to actually cut from here to here, and then from here this is going to be kind of straight in its own way with a little bit of a bow, but I will be doing more like eating spoons with a smaller side and then cooking spoons with a larger. When it comes to finding out how you want to split it afterwards, you should have a bit of an idea as to that as well. For this guy particularly, you need to locate where the pith is, the pith being the center of the log. Find out where that is, and that's kind of the area that you want to get rid of. Just because the log itself, as it starts to split and check over time, it's going to start from the center and start outward. So while removing this, it's going to sort of alleviate the wood from getting any kind of splits and checking, and then you can go ahead and utilize those portions for spoon carving. So this is a cherry billet. It's roughly, I would say, about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, kind of thick. Say about 2.5 inches wide, kind of thing, and more or less. It's a little bit thicker than I usually do, but I was banging out a couple of billets from some cherry wood that I had recently here, so this is what you're shooting for. And essentially, once you get this, you know, a small sort of slab of wood in this rough dimension, you're pretty much good to go. So now, just beautiful. So spalting is when the actual wood starts to, it's like a bacteria or a mold that'll start to rot because it's got too wet kind of thing, and it's probably due to the inclusion. And this has been sustained for quite some time, so this is actually living. But it was just getting to the point where it was sort of half dead, half living, so we just decided to be nice and take it out. But what you get out of that is such a mix of really neat colors, and when you're able to take the billets out, It's unbelievable what you can come up with. And this guy over here, he's going to be the eating spoons. And again, the methodology behind how I cut and what I was trying to do was, I now have a log straight enough for cooking spoons, and splitting, getting as many billets as I can out of that. And then I also have a smaller log that I've sort of overcompensated for. I could have made it smaller, and then I could have taken, or this could have been larger, but what's going to happen is I can't get to all this wood right away, and naturally it's going to start to dry. So what I'd rather do is overcompensate and make sure that there's a little bit of extra kind of meat on the actual logs, because that's not going to be a full spoon. I'm already sort of forecasting that it's going to start to check and crack at both ends, even if I do try to save it in water or freeze it or anything like that. So I can't get to it that fast. What I'm going to do is leave a little extra, cut that off when I'm ready to start making billets out of it, and then you've got your actual full spoon size out of this. So good to go when it comes to green wood carving. You're the master of your domain kind of thing, so it's really kind of up to you. For me, on this particular log, like I said, I didn't want to use the natural bow or anything like that. It was just all about trying to get two pieces that were as straight as possible, which, you know, achieved. And now the rest of it is just kind of keeping it in the shade, hopefully alleviating how fast it's going to dry, and then get to it when I can. I just currently have a lot of responsibilities, so I can only sort of get out to the carving area and stuff like that when I can. But anyway, I might even be able to smack a couple of these out within the next 15 minutes or so. Maybe I'll try that. Anyway, thanks for tuning in again. Love you guys, man. Keep on subscribing, keep on commenting, keep on throwing me a thumbs up. Hey, even hit that bell if you're interested. Yeah, more videos and a lot more stuff coming out very soon.